All right guys, welcome back to Riding with Danny. Got a good video for you today that I hope is going to help you save a few dollars. If you're new to the overlanding scene or just new in general and building out a rig, I'm going to let you know something now. Things tend to get a little expensive. I feel this every day. Danny already eats a lot better than me, so I've got to figure out ways to save money where I can because I don't have an unlimited supply of funds like most of us out there. So what I'm here to talk about today is a overland storage system that attaches to the back windows of your 4Runner. This is nothing new. There's many of these in the market, but the difference between this one and many others is that this one's not going to cost you $400, $500, $600 for 2 panels to cover your windows. So today we're going to take a look at these Maker Molle panels off of Amazon, and we're going to put them on my 4Runner. So let's go ahead and get ready to jump into the unboxing, and then we'll get them installed.
All right, so real quick, I was looking at these and I noticed that there's a little bit of extra material in here, but I don't think that's going to really hinder anything when we start attaching stuff to the Molle panels. But overall impressions during the unboxing, these things seem pretty solid. I like the bags, I like the hardware. Let's get this thing on the 4Runner.
All right guys, so here's everything laid out in the back of the 4Runner. I went ahead and put the left side Molle panel side by side so you can get a general idea of what this is going to look like. But in order to get these things on here properly, it would help to know what tools are going to be able to get this install done today. So I recommend having a Phillips head and flathead screwdriver, a 10mm socket and wrench, some blue Loctite, a 10mm wrench, and a 3mm and 5mm Allen key. These should be all the tools you need to get you through today's install. To start out, we're going to go ahead and back out these screws on this panel piece here. We're going to put some blue Loctite on them. We're going to slide this in front of that, and then we're going to put these back in place. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so real quick, I went to take all the screws out, get the holes aligned, and I noticed something. I put it together, and the holes are not aligning. Don't freak out. I almost had a mini heart attack until I did this and put it on the right way. So pro level tip, make sure you have this the right way and save yourself a mini heart attack. Anyway, I'll go ahead and put the Loctite on these screws and we'll get this thing put together. All right, so there you have it. The last bolt is in. We have the panel put together, nice in one piece. All the holes lined up, bolts in, Loctite on. This looks pretty good. On to the next step. Let's go ahead and start working on the brackets. The brackets are going to go together just like this. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a bolt and a washer. We're going to feed it through one of the holes, and using the included nuts, we're going to screw these into the back. I would go ahead and tighten these down just a little bit, but leave a little bit of play in there so we can adjust this as needed when we get them up on the windows. But let's go ahead and get these 4 bolts put in here and we'll take a look at it. All right, so there's the bracket installed onto the Molle panels. Gone ahead and got these in here. Like I said, I've left it loose but tight so it doesn't fall out. This will help us when we get it up on the window so we can make any fine-tune adjustments that we need to. So let's go ahead and get ready to put this thing on. All right, so before we actually get the Molle panel put onto the 4Runner, we need to check out our mounting points. So our first mounting point is going to be here. Our second mounting point is going to be right there. And our third mounting point is going to be the hanger that's up at the top. So these are pretty easy to get off, so let's go ahead and take them down. Now for this one right here, we want to just simply turn this guy clockwise and it'll come right out. So to get the hanger down, we're going to go ahead and put our screwdriver right here in this crack, and we'll just push this down. And that gives us access to the bolt that we're going to need. This is where we'll use our 10mm. We'll pull that bolt out, and you're going to save that bolt because we'll reuse it when we put the hanger back in. And same deal here. Use your screwdriver, place it in the little plug, and we'll just pop it right out. That one kind of launched very far, but anyway, we'll get access to the Phillips head that's in there. To get this thing installed on the 4Runner, we're going to use our long bolt, long spacer, short bolt, short spacer, and the bolt that we took up from the coat hanger up at the top. So your long bolt and long spacer are going to go into this back side that's right over here, and then our short bolt and our short spacer are going to be the one that goes right here, and we're going to reuse that bolt up there for the hanger. So let's go ahead and start getting this thing installed. All right, so now that we got the plugs out of the way, we'll go ahead and use our Phillips head screwdriver, and we'll back out these screws. All right, so I got the 2 bolts out of here. This one gave me a little bit of trouble, but I was able to get it out with a wrench. I'm gonna do the same thing up here with the hanger. We're gonna take this one out, but remember, we gotta save this bolt. All right, there we go. All right, so there it is, all installed. Overall, not too bad of an install if you do one thing correctly. So earlier when I was putting this bracket together, I actually used the bracket for the opposite side of the vehicle. So when I went to put this thing on, again, mini heart attack. Self-inflicted mini heart attack, but we got it figured out, got it squared away. So do yourself a favor, pay attention to which side you're putting these on. Save yourself a lot of time. But either way, here it is, looks really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and get the passenger side put on, and then we'll check these things out. All right, well, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you found this one to be super useful. Like I said at the beginning, building an overland rig is not a cheap hobby, so I personally am looking for areas to where I can save a couple dollars here and there and reinvest into other areas, and these Molle panels, they check the box for me on that aspect. They're strong, they're sturdy. I've had them on at the time of filming now about 3 weeks, and I've not heard one squeak. Nothing has fallen out. No screws have backed out. The Velcro that came with it is doing a fine job of holding the things that I've got on there now. So overall, I'd say this is a huge win. So if you're looking for some Molle panels but don't want to pay premium price and still want a good product, the Maker Molle panels is the option for you. Thank you for sticking around. Do me a favor and subscribe if you're not already. We've got some good content coming. In the next video, you may see me getting rid of the roof rack on the Pro and putting something else up there. I'm pretty excited for that one. But as always, thank you for sticking around, and we'll see you in the next one.